Talebot makes your kid the hero of their story.
Ethan's Epochs, The Camera Chronicles. A special bedtime story for Ethan Reynolds. In the quaint town of Havenridge, where the whispers of folklore danced with the winds of reality, there lived a 7-year-old boy named Ethan Reynolds. Ethan was no ordinary child. His vivid imagination and insatiable curiosity often led him on quests throughout his small town, quests that unraveled the yarns of the mundane to reveal the sweater of the extraordinary. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the town prepared for the season of harvest, Ethan found himself wandering into an antique shop that seemed as ancient as time itself. The shop, nestled between the town's library and a cozy bakery, was a cavern of wonders, filled with relics and artifacts from bygone eras. Each item in the shop sang its own silent song, a lullaby of history waiting to be heard. As Ethan's eyes danced from one object to another, he stopped at a camera resting on an old oak shelf. It wasn't sleek or modern like the cameras he'd seen in magazines. This one had a soul, a body of brass, and a lens that gazed back at him like an eye from the past. The shopkeeper, a man with eyes like twinkling stars, noticed Ethan's interest. "Ah, the camera," he said with a voice as soft as velvet. "It's been waiting for just the right photographer." Ethan felt a tug in his heart. The camera, with its ancient charm, called to him. With his parents' permission and the few coins he'd saved from chores, Ethan became the proud owner of the antiquated device. He could hardly wait to capture the wonders of Havenridge. Little did he know, the camera would capture much more than mere images. That evening, as the moon hung high like a guardian of the night, Ethan decided to take his first photograph. He aimed the camera at his beloved cat, Whiskers, who was perched regally on the windowsill. With a click that echoed with the gravity of something grand, Ethan was suddenly enveloped in a blinding flash. When his vision cleared, he found himself standing in the middle of a bustling marketplace, not of his time, but one that breathed the air of ancient Egypt. Ethan's heart raced with exhilaration and a touch of fear. The camera had transported him through time and space. He observed his surroundings. Pyramids kissed the horizon, and pharaohs walked amongst their people. Ethan, despite his initial shock, realized the opportunity before him. He was an explorer, a time traveler armed with nothing but a camera and his wits. As Ethan navigated the sands of history, he learned to use the camera wisely, capturing moments that would aid him in understanding the era he visited. Each photograph taken with the camera became a lesson, a story captured in a frame. He conversed with scholars in the Library of Alexandria, witnessing firsthand the value of knowledge and the tragedy of its loss. He learned the power of words and the importance of preserving them. In another click, he stood amidst the fervor of the American Revolution, where he learned about bravery and the fight for freedom.
Talebot, tailor-made tales for your child's dreams.
He witnessed the signing of the Declaration of Independence and understood the significance of standing up for what is right. The camera brought Ethan to the great minds of the Renaissance, where he met artists and inventors who taught him that creativity has no bounds. He saw the works of Leonardo da Vinci and realized that a single idea could change the world. With each photograph and each journey, Ethan grew. He learned the might of kindness from Mother Teresa, the resilience of humanity from the men who first walked the moon, and the power of dreams from the speeches of Martin Luther King Jr. Each era taught him something vital, something that transcended time itself. But with great power comes great responsibility, and Ethan knew he couldn't wander through time without consequence. As he ventured further, the fabric of time began to fray. Historical events started to shift subtly, and Ethan realized that his presence was a pebble in the pond of the past, creating ripples that could become waves. Determined to set things right, Ethan embarked on his most daring adventure yet. He sought to repair the tapestry of time, recapturing moments he had inadvertently changed. The task was immense, but his resolve was steadfast. Through each trial, Ethan learned the most crucial lesson of all: the actions of one person, no matter how small, can make a difference. Finally, After what seemed like an eternity but was only a night, Ethan returned home, the camera in his hand now silent. The first rays of the morning sun warmed his room as he looked at Whiskers, still on the windowsill, unchanged by the night's adventures. As Ethan grew older, he would often recount the tales of his time-traveling escapades to friends and family. Some believed him, while others smiled and attributed the stories to a child's fanciful dreams. But Ethan knew the truth of his journeys. He treasured the camera, not for its power to traverse history but for the lessons it had etched into his heart. Ethan never took another photograph with the camera, but he didn't need to. The images captured by his eyes and soul were enough, for they illuminated the path to a future filled with potential, a future he would shape with the wisdom of the past. The camera became an heirloom, a relic in Ethan's own life story, a chronicle of epochs captured in a single, magical night. And when the winds of Havenridge whispered through the trees, they carried with them the legacy of a boy who saw through the lens of time, Ethan Reynolds, the youngest historian of worlds that were, that are, and that have yet to be. Had come to an end, but the chapters of Ethan's life were just beginning, each day a fresh page waiting to be filled with stories of courage, compassion, and curiosity, the greatest adventures of all.
Created by a kid and their parent using Talebot, click the link in the video description to create your own story.